Hello people, welcome to another video by Pan India Motors, the multilingual bike review channel where you'll be getting videos in 3 languages, English, Hindi and Malayalam. അപ്പോൾ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും മലയാളത്തിൽ വീഡിയോസ് കാണണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പ്ലീസ് എൻ്റെ മലയാളം പ്ലേലിസ്റ്റ് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്യാവുന്നതാണ്. अगर आप में से किसी को हिंदी में चाहिए तो प्लीज़ जाके मेरा प्लेलिस्ट हिंदी चेक कर लीजिएगा. So what are we riding today? We are riding India's first electric cruiser bike, Komaki Ranger. And today we'll be doing a detailed review of this vehicle in a very short span of time, and it will contain a walk-around review and a ride review that will offer to you the specifications, the positives, the negatives, everything about this vehicle that I experienced when I rode this bike. So let's begin this with this beautiful looking triple headlamp unit in the front of this bike, which in fact adds a lot to the beauty of this bike. Here we have an LED unit in the middle and halogen bulbs on both sides. So these halogen bulbs, they are auxiliary lamps and they can be adjusted. They can be adjusted according to your road conditions. And to talk of the front suspension, we have got a pair of telescopic forks which actually looks quite big on this bike. And to talk of the tires, we have got 17-inch wheels and 110 section Ralcode tires, which in fact again adds to the big feel of this bike. To talk of the brakes, we have 270mm discs in the front without ABS, but still it gives enough bite considering the top speed of this bike, which is not very high. To talk of the battery, this is where the battery is enclosed in this bike. In fact, if you just take a look, you can see the green battery just inside that. It's a 72 volt 50 Ah battery. The company is actually working on a bigger battery which will also be coming soon, and you can actually charge this battery in 5 to 6 hours. This is the charger, and there are a few LED lights on this charger which helps you understand what percentage of the battery has been charged. So this is where you have the charging socket on the bike. It's on the left side of the bike just below the seats. You also have a small cap to protect this charging socket. So now to talk of the foot pegs, we have got a really nice pair of Riders foot pegs which are actually quite wide, and as you know, since we don't have any clutch pedals or brake pedals to engage for our legs, this being an electric bike, we can actually keep our legs comfortably on these foot pegs and just ride. And for the pillion also, we have got a comfortable pair of foot pegs which but are actually normal foot pegs. Now to talk of the seats, we have these small button like structures on these seats which in fact reminds me of some Hollywood cowboy movies. And to talk of the comfort level of these seats, they are actually quite soft. These button like structures on these seats, I was actually wondering will this create any problem, but yeah, it didn't create any problem. And to talk of the pillion seat, we have a really wide pillion seat with pillion backrest and 2 boxes on both sides. In fact, these boxes were a bit disturbing while I was trying to hop on this bike. I think we'll have to do something about it. Now to talk of these boxes, we have got a really good pair of boxes which are in fact not very big, neither very big nor very small, but it does the job. So this is where they have been mounted, and they are actually good enough to tie things as well, because if you want to keep something on the seat and tie them, and if you can remove them as well. If you don't want them, you can remove them as well, and there is a small space provided just behind there where you can actually put back these indicators once these boxes are removed. And the tail lamp also is a halogen unit. And to talk of the handlebar, we have got a really wide and comfortable handlebar that has been provided on this vehicle, and we even have a big windshield that actually does its job considering that the top speed of the vehicle is not too high. So we even have some negatives to say about this handlebar, but let's begin with this side. We have a small extra horn given here, and below that we have the Bluetooth controls, and just below the Bluetooth controls we have a USB port covered with a small cap. And here we have the dim bright switch, and just beside that we have emergency switch. Below that we have indicator switch, and below that we have an integrated switch which contains horn and the 4th mode. So guys, if you have seen this kind of a cable in any other bike, please do let me know, okay, because I'm seeing this for the first time. So let's switch this thing on. Alright, so when you look at the meter console area, we actually find a lot of resemblance with the Bajaj Avenger meter console. Yeah, this one is actually quite a simple one with just the speed, distance traveled and the battery volt, plus we have the mode switches on the right corner. So there is no corner, okay. So on the right hand side we have the mode changing switch. We have 3 modes here, and the 4th mode was there on the left side that I showed you. And here we have the reverse switch and the cruise control combined into one. Now to talk of the petrol tank area, we have a proper metal petrol tank like structure here. I'll say like structure because this is an electric vehicle and it has been provided just for the sake of the shape. Now we even have a petrol cap here. Let's try to open this, and once you open this, it's just empty. So I was like wondering, like they could have just given this, they could have just made this some useful space, because just look here, we have a small dummy meter console type thing here, which actually doesn't look so good. At least for me, it doesn't look so good. They could have just provided this like some storage space or something of that sort in this area. I strongly feel that. Now when you go to the rear side of this bike, we can see that we have a dual suspension in the rear, which in fact is, it's a dual suspension that is used in most bikes of this price segment, like most cruiser bikes of this price segment. For brakes, we have 240 disc in the rear, and we can see the motor right there. It's right in the middle of the wheel. We have the BLDC hub motor right here, the 4000 watt BLDC hub motor that is responsible for moving this vehicle around. So that's pretty much everything that I can tell you while the bike is on stand. Let's do one thing, let's take this bike for a ride and talk more about this. Let's go for the ride review. Alright people, let me welcome you all to the ride review of Komaki Ranger. So I've put this bike in the first mode and let's try to pull it. Alright, so people, I've been riding this bike for some half an hour now. In this half an hour, there were a few things that I actually admired about this bike, and at the same time, there were a few others that I genuinely felt like the company should work on them. So I'll talk about all these things, the positives, the negatives, everything. Let's begin with the positives. So when you talk of the positives, there are three major points that's coming to my mind. So the first one is the riding ergonomics of this bike, because this bike actually offers you really good riding ergonomics because of the handlebar position, because of the seating posture, because of the foot pegs, the really comfortable foot pegs, and the seats. They've actually provided really good seats here, really wide and like properly well cushioned seats have been provided here. But now, okay, exact timing. But when you talk of the riding ergonomics, you should certainly talk of the suspension as well. The suspension setup is actually quite hardly set. I think this is set more for the like good roads, because whenever you go on bad patches of roads, you actually feel almost all these undulations on your back, and I feel like that's a bit of a problem, but it's okay. It still doesn't make you feel really uncomfortable or something. I think that owes a lot to the seats also, really comfortable seats. So now to talk of the second most important thing is the road presence of this bike. This bike is actually quite big. Even when you sit on this bike, or if you are looking at even if you're like looking on it from outside, you actually feel like the bike is really big. And that's actually something I like about this bike. The next thing that I want to talk to you about the bike is the range of this bike. The company actually claims that with just 2 units of current, with two units of electricity, this bike will go up to a range of 160 to 180 kilometers. But from the showroom itself, the information that I got was that many people actually got only 140 kilometer, and they had a consumption of around 4 units. So the company is actually working on a bigger battery, a 55Ah battery. So I hope with that this problem will be solved. Now let me talk to you about the things that I don't like on this bike, things that I felt as negatives on this bike. The first thing is the quality of the switchgear. When you look at the switchgear, especially the ones used for the Bluetooth controls, they don't look like ones that you would expect on a bike which is worth around 2 lakh rupees, or like worth more than 1,74,000 rupees. So that's something that I genuinely feel like the company should work on. And the next thing that I found when it comes to the quality is the handlebar. Like the one thing that I saw on this particular bike is that the handlebar was not really, the metal part of the handlebar was not really going up to the end of the left side handlebar. So the rubber portion was projecting there. Let's do one thing, let's take a quick look at the sports mode and come back. Alright people, let's do one thing. Let's put this in sport mode and let's try to roll. Okay, so here we go. You can keep monitoring the speed, okay? I'll be talking more about the issues that we are discussing. So regarding the handlebar issue, I even called at the number that's provided in Komaki website. I spoke to them, and what they told me was that it must be just the case with this particular bike that I'm riding. But I think it should be something that is standardized. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be something that is different in different bikes. You can see my fingers, right? Like while I'm trying to blow this horn, it's getting difficult for me because the horn is not really placed very near to your hand. But horn is something that you use on emergency situations, so you are not supposed to place a horn so far away from your hand. You shouldn't make it a difficult task to blow the horn. So I think the placement of the switches also should be a bit rearranged according to that, for the vehicle to be more appealing in the market. The next thing that I feel is about this space on top of this tank area. I think that this could have been made a bit more a useful space, and they could have not imitated petrol vehicles here, because I think it will seriously hurt the identity of this particular vehicle. If you are an electric vehicle, I think you should certainly assert that identity of being an electric vehicle, and they shouldn't be like giving such elements on a bike like this, which in fact has a lot of potential. So now let's do one thing. Let's try to take a quick incline climbing test of this vehicle. Alright, so this is the same place. This is the same place where we tested the Komaki Venice also, so it'll be easier for you to compare these two vehicles. So I've put this vehicle in mode 1. Okay, I've put this vehicle in mode 1, and we are trying to locate a proper incline where we can stop this vehicle and try to pull it from there. So I think we have an incline right in front of us. So yeah, we have an incline right in front of us. We can stop there and we can try changing modes. Alright, let's stop here. We are in the first mode. Okay, let's stop here and let's try to pull. Alright, so while I am trying to pull on this mode 1, the thing that I felt is that compared to the Komaki Venice that I tested here, this bike is actually struggling a little bit. Certainly a little bit more than the Komaki Venice. Okay, Komaki Venice is more powerful than this bike, it felt. Maybe it's because of the weight also. This vehicle has got more weight than that one. And we have put it in the second mode. So this bike also offers you a regenerative braking system, where when you apply brakes, there will be a small amount of current that will be going back to the batteries. So let's do one thing. Let's try the second mode here. Alright, let's pull. Okay, it's struggling, but still the second mode is better than the first mode. Even on plain roads, the top speed of the second mode is like 45 or something. I don't know exactly. I don't remember exactly. So it's a bit struggling. Like, I think if there is someone else sitting behind you, it might be a bit hard. Let's try the third mode here. So let's put this in third mode. Okay, let's go. Yeah, third mode is actually far better, because on plain roads the third mode has a top speed of around 65. Not around, actually it has a top speed of 65. You could see, I think, while I was riding. We don't have any inclines in front of us. Let's do one thing. Let's roll back a little bit and let's try the fourth mode as well. So let me put the vehicle in the fourth mode. Okay, let's pull. Yeah, the fourth mode is actually okay. Actually, I think even if you have a pillion, the fourth mode will like pull you. I hope so. So I think if you want to buy this vehicle, you should certainly go and do a test ride with a pillion. Okay. So people, this is where I got the Komaki Ranger for review. So this is the Komaki showroom in Kovalam, Trivandrum. So in fact, this is the only showroom of Komaki in Trivandrum while I'm making this video. If you want to know more about any of the Komaki vehicles, or if you want to book a test ride, you can certainly contact them. They are really friendly people, and I'll give you the contact details and everything in the description. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to tell you about this vehicle, and in case I have missed anything, please do let me know in the comments. And if you have any different opinion to what I have said, please do let me know that too in the comments. And as a conclusion, I would say that this is a vehicle with a lot of potential, and I hope that the company recognizes its potential and boosts its positives and rectifies its negatives and keeps this as a really good contestant in the market. So that's it, guys. Until we meet next time, keep smiling, stay happy, bye bye.